Hi, I'm Eric Lenask. We are here at the Kimmel Center in New York at Devcon5, and I'm talking with DreamFactory's Bill Appleton. Bill, good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning.
How's the show been?
It's been great. There's a lot of different people here, a lot of different companies represented, and the topics have been good. A lot of information about HTML5 on the back end, on the front end, and a lot of new technologies coming out, useful things for developers.
How do you see HTML5 evolving?
Well, it's come a long way, and I think especially for the enterprise, it's a really valuable tool where you can build an app once and run it on every different device. You know, every time another device comes out, it just gets harder and harder and harder to support them all. And I think eventually the only answer is going to be something like HTML5 that runs everywhere and really provides a flexible way to deploy on mobile.
What does that mean for DreamFactory?
So we've been working for a couple of years now building a back-end services platform. So we provide a REST API and for mobile application developers, and it provides all the services you need for building a great mobile app. So we have user management capabilities, a dedicated interface to a dedicated SQL database, and we're getting ready to add some features for NoSQL databases. And we also have interfaces to all the major blob storage systems. So it really provides a service architecture for mobile app dev, and it lets you build a much more efficient style of application that just uses services instead of, shipping all of those HTML pages down to the client.
What are you looking forward to accomplishing going forward?
Well, we've got some great announcements coming up. One is support for NoSQL, so MongoDB and DynamoDB, SimpleDB, Azure Tables. And so this is really a key technology because a lot of these things have interfaces, they have APIs, but they have to be used from a server. So we make it really easy for a developer to add MongoDB or add one of these other NoSQL databases, hide the master credentials on our cloud, and then provide direct access to it through us, and then you can provide user administration, user roles and permissions, so that every user that comes in can see a different aspect of the database. And so it's a much more secure way and a much more powerful way to let you use something as powerful as MongoDB, but from a cell phone.
Do you envision it helping increase even further the adoption of HTML5?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, HTML5 is a great front end. What it needs is a great back end. And so that's what we're all about, building out the REST service architecture that provides all the services you need to build really great collaborative HTML5 applications.
So you reference needing a really great back end, and that's one of the things that DreamFactory is working on. Has that inhibited the growth of HTML5 at all?
Well, the older way to do this is to go build it all yourself. And so what happens is that you end up with two teams to build the app. One team that has to build the server and another that has to build the front end. And then those two teams have to agree on the interface, they have to agree on the protocols. And so you end up with 2 or 3 times more work than you really should be doing to build the app. And so if you've got a pre-built services platform that has everything you need, then a very small team, maybe even one guy, can just build the front end and boom, you're done with the app. And so it's a really different way to build things, perfect for HTML5 and for enterprises who want a better, faster, cheaper way to get to market.
And who doesn't? Is it going to help tip the balance in terms of app development towards HTML5 as opposed to having some kind of a reasonable balance between native apps and HTML5?
Yeah, so actually these are standards-based services, so you can use them from a native app or from a server or from the desktop. Although I will say we've highly optimized this for HTML5. Native support for JSON objects, very clear-cut REST architecture, and even doing some really helpful things like the ability to get native arrays of JSON objects with related objects as subarrays. I mean, it's highly tuned for HTML5, but also works fine with native or from a server side.
Most of the people that I've talked to would find that useful, believing that there will continue to be some kind of a balance between native and HTML5.
Yeah, and we're great with that. We think that's fine. You know, we think there's a lot of different ways to use it. You know, for example, you might want to do a native app on iOS, but then go for HTML5 for everything else. Or you might need to use the services from a server or even from a desktop app for administration or something like that. So it's hard to predict exactly what's going to happen, but I think people are going to need great services.
Bill, thank you. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for being here at DevCon 5.